They never returned from buying shoes. When Boulot and Boulotte, the little Pinywood twins, had reached the dignified age of 12, it was decided in family council that the time had come for them to put their little naked feet into shoes. They were two brown-skinned, black-eyed Cadian roly-polies who lived with father and mother and a troop of brothers and sisters halfway up the hill in a neat log cabin that had a substantial mud chimney at one end. They could well afford shoes now, for they had saved many a picayune through their industry of selling wild grapes, blackberries, and socos to ladies in the village who put up such things. Boulot and Boulotte were to buy the shoes themselves, and they selected a Saturday afternoon for the important transaction, for that is the great shopping time in Natchitoches parish. So upon a bright Saturday afternoon, Boulot and Boulotte, hand in hand, with their quarters, their dimes, and their picayunes tied carefully in a Sunday handkerchief, descended the hill and disappeared from the gaze of the eager group that had assembled to see them go. Long before it was time for their return, this same small band, with 10-year-old Seraphine at their head, holding a tiny Seraphine in her arms, had stationed themselves in a row before the cabin at a convenient point from which to make quick and careful observation. Even before the two could be caught sight of, their chattering voices were heard down by the spring where they had doubtless stopped to drink. The voices grew more and more audible. Then, through the branches of the young pines, Boulotte's blue sunbonnet appeared, and Boulotte's straw hat. Finally, the twins, hand in hand, stepped into the clearing in full view. Consternation seized the band. "You bouf crazy donk, Boulot and Boulotte," screamed Seraphine. "You go buy shoes and come home bare feet like you was go." Boulot flushed crimson. He silently hung his head and looked sheepishly down at his bare feet, then at the fine stout brogans that he carried in his hand. He had not thought of it. Boulotte also carried shoes, but of the glossiest, with the highest of heels and brightest of buttons. But she was not one to be disconcerted or to look sheepish, far from it. "You spec Boulotte and me, we got money for us," she retorted with withering condescension. "You think we go buy shoes for ruin it in the deuce? Comment."